Vine Strike. Groot's primary fire, Vine Strike, stretches his arms forward to hit enemies from a pretty long range. It might look like a melee attack, but it actually counts as a projectile, which means you can't get headshots. So just aim for the body for more consistent hits. Since it's a projectile, you'll need to lead your shots a little when aiming at moving enemies. Don't treat it like an instant melee swing. It's all about timing and aim. So practice tracking targets and adjusting your shots to land solid hits. Spore Bomb. Groot's secondary fire, Spore Bomb, fires a projectile that breaks into 6 smaller shards when it hits something. If both the main shot and the splinters connect, it can do a ton of damage. With just a 6-second cooldown, you can use this ability, often to keep up the pressure in longer fights. You can get creative. Use Thornlash Wall like a backboard to trap enemies and bounce the bomb off for a solid explosion. Throw the bomb after placing Thornlash Wall to power up its attacks. This auto-awakens the wall, boosting your overall damage. It's a great tool to combo with your other abilities and punish grouped-up enemies. Thornlash Wall. Thornlash Wall is Groot's go-to offensive wall, and you should be using it often. It hits enemies who've already taken damage from your team, has multiple charges, and cools down faster than Ironwood Wall. So don't be shy. Spam it when needed. Drop it near high-priority targets to boost your damage and pressure. Use it to cut off heals from enemy strategists by blocking their line of sight to isolated teammates like a flanker or vanguard. You can spawn 2 Thornlash Walls fast by holding down your primary fire and moving your cursor above or to the side of your first wall placement. The more walls you get out, the more chaos you create, so keep them coming. Ironwood Wall. Ironwood Wall is Groot's defensive tool, and your job is to keep it alive as long as possible. It gives bonus health to allies, so don't throw it right into enemy fire. You can still use it to block choke points or angles. Just try to place it out of direct line of sight so it sticks around and keeps giving over health. At higher skill levels, enemies will focus it down fast, so be ready to adjust your positioning and drop it where it's harder to hit but still helps your team. Think of it as your team's portable cover. Protect it so it can protect your team. Flora Colossus. Groot can build wooden walls that block enemy vision, and you can rotate them to create platforms or cover, depending on what you need. These walls tie directly into his passive, Flora Colossus. Here's the simple breakdown. Stand near a Thornlash Wall. It activates and starts dealing damage when you or your teammates attack enemies near it. Stand near an Ironwood Wall. It activates and gives bonus health to nearby allies. The key part: Groot has to be close to the wall for these effects to kick in. As long as he's nearby, both his own and his teammates' damage or healing will trigger the wall's special abilities. Stay in range and keep the value rolling. Furious Flora. Groot's melee, Furious Flora, knocks enemies back every 2 hits. It's great for keeping pressure up, and you can mix it with his other attacks for even better damage. Be sure to weave your melee between Vine Strikes to boost your DPS. You can also throw in your Spore Bomb or another Vine Strike during the melee combo. This won't mess up the 2-hit pattern that leads to the knockback. Keep mixing attacks to stay aggressive and keep enemies off balance. Strangling Prison. Groot's ultimate, Strangling Prison, fires out vines that pull enemies in and trap them for a few seconds while dealing damage over time. Trapped enemies can still attack and use some abilities, but they can't move. This ult is a projectile, so you can stick it to the floor, walls, ceilings, basically anywhere. You can even throw it at your own Thornlash Wall to pin enemies to it. If you stick enemies up high, it makes them an easy target for your team and gives them a longer drop if they survive. It works great on its own, but the real power comes when you combo it with big AoE ults like Moon Knight, Storm, or Iron Man. If you also have Spore Bomb and Thornlash Walls ready, you can straight up delete squishy enemies without any help. Friendly Shoulder. When Rocket Raccoon or Jeff the Land Shark is on your team, they can hop on your shoulders for some extra protection, gaining damage reduction while riding you. If you see them in danger, run to them. Jumping on your shoulders might be just enough to save them from getting died. But don't get too aggressive while they're riding you. You might survive pushing deep into enemy lines, but they probably won't. Keep your positioning safe so they don't get focused down. Overview. Groot, the tanky frontliner from the Guardians of the Galaxy, plays like no one else in Marvel Rivals. He's all about changing the battlefield, blocking sightlines, cutting off escape routes, and stacking pressure with walls and damage. While he's not the fastest or the best at directly protecting teammates, he brings a ton of value to almost any team. Playing as Groot, your ultimate is huge for starting fights. Time it with your team's AoE damage for easy cleanups. Use your walls to mess with enemy movement and break their line of sight, especially for healers. Always place Thornlash Walls behind your target so they're trapped between you and the wall's damage radius. Playing against Groot needs to get close. Heroes with mobility or range, like flyers and snipers, can easily keep their distance and pick him off. He's slow and has no real escape, so CC abilities, like Wolverine's Leap, can shut him down hard. Don't ignore his walls. The small ones hurt, and the big ones heal him. Ranged heroes like the Punisher and Loki can tear through them and take away a lot of his value.
I bet you can click on the next video before the time runs out. 3, 2, 1. You lose.